Hi students, in this video we will be discussing about meter bridge and potentiometer. Meter bridge is another form of Wheatstone's bridge. So let's understand the circuit diagram of meter bridge. Meter bridge consists of a uniform man-made wire AB of 1 meter length along with a meter scale which is stretched in between two copper strips, that is C and D. Another one copper strip E is mounted in between the copper strips C and D such that it provides two gaps, that is named as G1 and G2. An unknown resistance P is connected at G1. A known resistance Q is connected at G2. The copper strip E is connected to jockey through galvanometer and high resistance. The galvanometer is positioned on the wire such that the galvanometer shows null deflection. The length AJ is noted such that it is considered as L1. The length JB is noted and it is considered to be L2. And a Leclanché cell and a key is connected across the bridge. Normally, the working of a meter bridge is that a jockey will be moved from bridge A to B such that at one position the galvanometer shows null deflection. The length we will be, as I said earlier, the length we will be taking it as L1 and L2. So using that we will be finding out the unknown resistance, that is the resistance of the resistor P. We can say that P by Q is equal to R by S. We are using the principle of Wheatstone bridge. Here R by S is nothing but R dash AJ by R dash JB. We know that AJ is nothing but L1, the distance between bridge A to the position of jockey, and JB is from the position of jockey to the bridge B. And here R dash is resistance per unit length. So from this we can say that R dash get cancelled. Finally we will be getting P by Q is equal to AJ by JB, which implies that P by Q is equal to, we know that AJ is nothing but L1 and JB is nothing but L2. So finally we can find out the value of P is equal to Q into L1 by L2. This expression gives, using this expression we can find out the unknown resistance. But as at the edges, at this edge and this edge, normally the wire will be soldered so that it rises some resistance, and that resistance is known as, we will be calling that resistance as N resistance. We will be calling that as N resistance. So, in order to eliminate the error, we will be taking another one reading by replacing the resistance, which means after taking one set of readings, we will be replacing the resistance. Q will be placed at G2, Q will be placed at G1, and P will be placed at G2. By replacing, by taking the other value, we will be finding out the exact value of the unknown resistance. So using this formula, we can find out the specific resistance or resistivity also. Or resistivity. We know that resistance is equal to rho L by A. We know that resistance is equal to rho L by A. In order to find out resistivity, that is rho is equal to resistance into A by L, where resistance is nothing but the resistance of unknown resistor, that is P. So we can write rho is equal to P into area as pi r square by L. So this formula, using this formula, we can find out the specific resistance of the given resistor. Our next topic is potentiometer. Potentiometer is used for accurate measurement of potential difference, current and resistance. Potentiometer consists of 10 meter long magnetite wire which are stretched in rows parallel 1 meter in length. A steady current is maintained across CD by connecting it to a battery BT. The battery key and the potentiometer are connected in series such that they form the primary circuit. The primary cell, galvanometer, high resistance and the jockey form the secondary cell. A contact is made by the jockey on the potentiometer at a point J, so that the potential difference across Cj is equal to the EMF of the cell, which means there is no current passing through the galvanometer, results in no deflection in the galvanometer. We can say that the EMF of the cell will be equal to IRL, where I is the current passing through and R is the resistance per unit length, and L we will be calling that as balancing length. Balancing length, a length at which the galvanometer shows no deflection. And from this equation we can say that I and R are constant. So we can say that EMF of a cell is directly proportional to the balancing length. Measurement of internal resistance of a cell using potentiometer. In order to measure the internal resistance of a cell, the following circuit connections are made. We know the potentiometer, battery and key 1 forms the primary circuit. The NC is connected to positive terminal of a primary cell and the negative terminal is connected to jockey through galvanometer and high resistance. And resistance R is connected across the cell through key K2. Consider a suitable resistance R and key K2 is closed. Let R be the internal resistance of the cell. When the key K2 is closed, the resistance R is also included in the circuit, such that the current passing through the cell and the resistance R is given as I equal to Xi by R plus R. Then the potential difference across R is given as V equal to Xi R by R plus R. So using this expression, we can say that when the potential difference is balanced by the potentiometer, the balancing length is considered as L2, so that Xi R by R plus R is directly proportional to L2. So using these two equations, we can consider this as equation number 2. Using these two equations, so divide equation 1 by 2, we get Xi is equal to Xi divided by Xi R by R plus R, which is equal to L1 by L2. That's that Xi gets cancelled. So R plus R by R is equal to L1 by L2, which implies 1 plus R by R is equal to L1 by L2. So R by R is equal to L1 by L2 minus 1. So R is equal to R into L1 minus L2 by L2. By the known values of L1, L2 and R, we can find out the internal resistance of the cell. By experiment, it is found out that the internal resistance R increases with the increase in the external resistance